and welcome back to the Balanced and Built podcast. My name is Morgan.
My name is Shae.
And today we are talking all about healing, timelines, expectations, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about how we got this idea?
Yeah. So randomly, I've been posting more and more on social media about like health, fitness, my bodybuilding stuff, whatever. And if you guys listen to a episode, two episodes ago now, you know that I recently had surgery. This is not my first go around with surgery. And I posted a reel that was kind of like that trend that's going on right now, that it's like, nobody ever talks about this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, or like nobody talks about how hard it is to go from this to this. And so like, literally, I'm not even joking, you guys, I had a PR on Monday with my Bulgarian split squats, and on Tuesday I couldn't even move. So I like posted this reel where I hit I had the video of me doing like my PR on my Bulgarian split squats, and then like a video of me going to the gym for the first time since surgery, and I could barely hold myself in a push-up position. And that's kind of what inspired this, and it randomly popped off. So if anyone's listening to this that supported that, I really, really appreciate it, because I've always been pretty reserved, like not really willing to open up, I guess, about kind of like my journey and stuff, because it brings up a lot for me. I kind of called you the other day, and like I called Morgan the other day, like totally breaking down about this, because I try to ignore that I have the things that I have going on, and I try to act like they don't exist, and I try to act like I'm completely normal. And if you're someone out there that deals with chronic pain, or maybe, there's much worse out there than what I have that you probably try and ignore, because you just want to feel normal every day. And so I feel like talking about it kind of brings me to, I'm not, there's a lot of things that I do every day that people don't have to do every day. Yeah. But it's a part of my normal, so it feels normal. But it brings up a lot of just kind of traumatic events that have taken place up to this point. And so I just never really wanted to post about it. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it'll help me process emotions better. Yeah. So I'm just going to do it. And I did, and it popped off. So now we're here. And
so people loved it. And that just speaks to what happens when you truly be authentic and vulnerable online. Like, people can see and feel that through the screen. Yeah. And it popped off. Like,
we had 1 million views on that today.
1 million freaking views is crazy.
Dude, I couldn't believe it.
Holy crap.
I literally, when I checked it, like 3 days ago, it was at like 300,000. I'm like, if this gets to 500,000 views, I'm going to like go crazy.
Did you get a lot of followers from it? Like,
oh, yeah. I was at like, let me check. I was at 1,700, and now I'm at 1,850. So I've gained like 150 followers, and I have 1 million profile views right now.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
And it has 1 million views on it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, right here. 1 mil. I couldn't believe it.
I just found that out like right before we pressed record. I knew it had like 75K last time I looked at it, and I literally screamed when she told me that, because that is crazy.
No lie. So
like, that's so cool. And yeah, like I said, it just speaks to what people like to see online. So that inspired doing a whole episode about it.
Yes. So where do you want to start?
So I feel like you should start.
Okay.
It's more of your thing.
A little bit. So in our introductory episode, the very first episode we ever did, I kind of mentioned like this injury that I had. And actually, when I think about it, the amount of times that I have had to come back from something is even more than just that injury. So the first time that I had an injury, I was in 7th grade. It was in 2012. I had a very minor ankle surgery. But when you're 12 years old and you're getting a ligament repair, that kind of seems like a big deal. Plus, that's like prime time Shae and gymnastics and cheerleading, and that was like a really big deal for me. Yeah. So I had that surgery, and I was out for a couple months, and I had to come back from that. That was easy. That was no problem. I was young, getting back into sports. Like, I had a really big motivation. Like, I figured it would never happen again. Cool. So fast forward, I did have some back issues in there, but I never took time off for it, but it was just kind of like battling through that. And then my sophomore year of high school, I redid my ankle again. This time it was a little bit worse, and I had a second surgery, and this one was a little bit harder to come back from, just because the intensity of the surgery was a little bit more. I needed a little bit more done. But ultimately, I ended up coming back full strength, at that time, still in high school, still competing in cheer and gymnastics and all those things. So the motivation was super high to, like, push through and keep going. And so then at that point, I was very healthy from the sophomore year surgery up until what happened to me in college. I was dropped out of a cheerleading stunt. I had a major injury to the point that I even pulled out what was previously done on the ankle. Like, I had an internal ankle brace in, and my foot was so screwed up that it pulled out.
Oh my gosh.
It was really, really bad. And so in March of 2018, I had a major reconstruction of my leg from below my knee down. So nothing happened to my knee, but right below my knee and down, and my incision runs all the way up the side of my leg. I mean, you've seen it before. And on the bottom of my heel. And this was probably the first time that I, like, looked myself in the eye and went, like, what do I even have to come back to? Like, the doctor told me, and I apologize if I get emotional about this, but the doctor literally told me, like, cheered's done. Gymnastics is done. You're not running it. You're never going to run again, because they had to fuse my whole ankle. They had to take out my subtalar joint and fuse the ankle. You're not going to be able to free squat. You're not going to be able to you know, you're going to be lucky if you could just be somewhat active and have a job. And being told that at 18 years old, oh, and you're not allowed to wear heels again. And you know how much I love wearing heels. I think that was what hurt me the most, to be honest. When I was like, I'm not going to wear my 6-inch platforms. What are you talking about? But that plays into it, because then when I'm kind of glad he told me that, because if he didn't, I wouldn't have got to stick up my butt to say I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
So I ended up having 2 surgeries that year to fix the whole leg. And when I got out of my cast, finally, it was tough. It was really, really tough. I couldn't walk, really. I was just limping. I couldn't push off my leg. I couldn't wear leggings. I felt, you know, I have 3 sisters. They're all beautiful. They love to wear their heels and get dressed up. And even my friends wear their heels and they get dressed up. And I would be like, well, I have to wear tennis shoes with my dress, or like sandals. And like, that would just make me not feel pretty. And I had this massive scar on my leg, and I couldn't move, and I was limping. I couldn't even keep up the pace, like, at people were walking. Like, it was just never easy. I couldn't stand for a long period of time. I couldn't go hang out with my friends because they would want to go bowl, and I couldn't even stand for an hour to bowl, or like whatever it might be. I couldn't do anything. All I could do was go to a gym and sit on a bench, and my husband would bring me my weights, and I would do upper body, and that was it. And I would try to do lower body here and there, but it was so painful. You know, even sitting on the couch was painful, so I would maybe push through a leg workout here and there, but even at that, it just was terrible. So anyways, kind of fast forward, I ended up developing what's called it's called complex regional pain syndrome, which I'm not even going to go into what that is on this, because that's going to take it up another 25 minutes to explain. But ultimately, once I found out I had that, it really made sense on why orthopedically I was healed from the injury. But like, I looked healed. If you took an MRI or an image of my leg, it looked healed. But my leg would turn bright red. It would swell huge. It would bruise. It would literally feel like someone poured gas into my leg and lit it on fire. It would look like there was like welts on my skin. It would be like, it was just so awful. I couldn't even put a blanket on my leg. Like, it was so painful all the time. It doesn't matter what I did. That's why I always tell people, they're like, oh, well, how do you still go to the gym, or how do you still go to work? I'm like, I'm going to be in the same amount of pain whether I'm sitting on this couch or I'm sitting at that desk getting work done. So I'm going to go and do that. So anyways, those couple years were really kind of the key points from 2018 to 2021 I was in a lot of therapy. I got diagnosed with PTSD. The treatment that I had to go through, once we found out I had CRPS, then it was the different medications, and I was passing out on the floor. I was throwing up the medications. I had to get ketamine infusions where I'm like seeing hallucinations for days straight of like my niece dying in front of me. Like, when I got the ketamine infusion, I actually don't know that I've ever really said this out loud, but when I got the ketamine, maybe I have, but when I got the ketamine infusion, the hallucinations were so bad that my heart rate went up, and they had to pull me off because my heart was getting in dangerous levels because of how intense the hallucinations were and horrible. Like, I literally, in therapy, I think we spent like 3 months on trying to talk about, because I couldn't even say it at first. And like the trauma, like anytime I see doors that like go like this, and I think of a hospital, I just immediately talk about like fight or flight, like we were talking about last episode.
Yeah.
Whoo, baby, I can't, I just can't do it. I mean, going to get surgery is like nothing to me. I've been poked with so many needles, tried so many medications, so many this. The treatment was just horrid. Ultimately, we had to put in a DRG stimulator device, which I've explained in previous episodes, so I'm not going to do now. And that came with a whole new set of challenges. Then it was, you're not going to be able to work out. you're not going to be able to ski or snowboard or turn your back or move. Like, you got to be careful if you're looking side to side. And I said, okay, yeah, cool. I'm going to just do what I want. But with that, for the first 4 months of me having it, I couldn't bend at the waist at all. So I had to pee standing up. I couldn't put my hands over my earlobes. So I couldn't wash my own hair. So Connor was washing my hair. I couldn't get myself dressed. I couldn't carry anything over 3 ounces. So I couldn't literally carry any food or anything. And at this time, my husband, Connor, he was on afternoon shift. So he would be gone from 4 p.m. to midnight. And I lived like an hour and 15 minutes away from my parents. And my mom would come when she could. But of course, she can't just leave every night to like come and help. So I was by myself a lot. So like I would DoorDash food and they would like leave it on the ground. And so then like Connor put a table out there. And then sometimes they would still leave it on the ground. And then like, okay, I'm not eating.
Oh my
and like
gosh.
I couldn't even reach up into the microwave because I couldn't reach above my earlobes. So I literally went, I'll never forget the first day I went back in the gym. Sorry. The first day that I went back in the gym, after when I got cleared from the stimulator surgery, I walked in and I thought I'd be able to do something. Like I thought, all right, I can do curls, I could maybe do upper body, you know, whatever. I grabbed a therapy band, stood on it, and I put my hands between it. I tried to do a curl, and I literally couldn't do it. The pain from the stimulator was unbelievable. I mean, on top, not because also, too, when you get the stimulator in, it's not doing anything for your leg yet because your back has to heal because the surgery is so intense because they go in and they put these wires into your nerves. And so when they do that, it's very intense. So they have to let that heal first before they really get the stimulator working for the main problem, which was my leg. Okay. So not only am I in the gym and I'm not healed, you know, I'm somewhat healed from the back, but the pain in my leg is really still there. I've cut by probably 50% at that time, but, you know, still there. So I literally did one bicep curl. And I looked at Connor and I'm like, they were right. I'm not going to be able to come back. Like, there's no flipping way. I've never been so low in terms of literally being like basically a handicapped person. Thank God for Connor. He never let me give up on myself. So kind of fast forward, I set a goal for myself and I said, if I can ever move again, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. So that's why I'm in bodybuilding now. But I stepped on stage in 2023, competed for the first time. And so kind of fast forward to where we are now and why I did this whole reel. And I guess that ended up being a longer epilogue before I actually got into what we were talking about. So the stimulator, unfortunately, it dies. It's incredible that it lasts 4 to 5 years straight, especially because I run it 24/7. It's actually pretty cool.
Like, I'm cranking that thing.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. But unfortunately, it dies, so I had to get it replaced. So I had the battery replaced, and I also had to get it relocated because I was having a lot of problems with it. It was initially in my it's the battery, and then there's like wires they're called leads, but they're like little wires that go into your spine. So I was having a lot of problems with the battery being in my butt cheek. So we moved it up to my lower back. So this surgery it's not a difficult surgery. Replacing the battery is very easy. It's in and out. Moving the battery takes a little bit extra. I have a couple extra, you know, instead of one scar, I have 3 scars, you know, they had to tunnel some things. So it is a little bit more intense, but it is not nearly as intense of what I did come back from the leg or this first stimulator surgery. Yeah. I mean, this was like 3 weeks and, you know, you could be walking again, jumping around. Well, I can't jump, but, you know, doing good at the gym, stuff like that. Yeah. And I don't know what it was, but this has felt like the hardest. This has felt like the hardest recovery. And a part of me thinks it's because when I had surgery, Monday I was hitting PRs and Tuesday I wasn't able to move. Yeah. So it's not like on Monday I was in pain. Right. And then Tuesday I had surgery. It almost felt like, why am I even getting surgery? Yeah. And so I think that was so hard for me to like wrap my head around because I didn't even think, I'm getting surgery tomorrow. Like whatever. It wasn't a big deal. And I called Morgan the other day. I'm just talking to her, telling her like, I don't know that I can do it again. I don't know that I can, even though it's only 3 weeks, right? You guys, like you're like, this seems so easy, but I think it's just the compounding over the years of having to come back from difficult situations. And I understand there's things out there that, you know, people lose their legs and things like that. But like in my brain, everybody deals with their own challenging thing, right? So like this was a very, very, very horrible. CRPS is also known as, it's ranked in the top 3 highest pains humans can feel.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so this thing is no joke. And so yeah, this seems so easy to come back from, but it wasn't. Yeah. And it hasn't been. I expected to be back faster. I always over deliver on what I think I'd be able to do. I broke out in these hives. That's been a whole other thing. The pain, the all the stuff, it just brings back a lot, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy juxtaposition to go from Monday to Tuesday. Like, that, of course, your brain is like, whoa, like, freaking out. I would feel that way, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I definitely think it's just the compounding of all of the surgeries and all of that. Yeah.
And having to keep coming back. And then I think of, like, the future. You know, this thing dies every 4 to 5 years, so until they come up with a better one, this is what I'm going to have to do every 4 to 5 years. Yeah. Luckily, I won't have to move it, so the surgery will be even easier. But even the thought of just, like, that's how I have to live for the rest of my life. Yeah. Hopefully they come out with better technology, right? I'm sure they will, but...
I'm sure they'll come out with one that lasts longer eventually, I would hope.
Yeah, and I think...
But I think, like, the biggest thing I told you when you called me, it was, like, you just have to focus on today. Like, you can't get too ahead of yourself thinking about the next time you have to get it replaced. Yeah. And I'm guilty of that, too, like, just getting way too ahead of myself and overthinking it. But, yeah, you've come back from way worse.
Yeah, and then that's what I, like, keep trying to tell myself. I'm like, why does this one feel so hard? Yeah. Like, why does this one feel like I'm too tired, I can't do it again? Like, but, yeah, I mean... That was great advice, just taking it day by day, because I've just been literally waking up and going, what can I do today? Yeah. Not saying I could do this tomorrow. I'm not saying I could do it 5 days in a row. I'm just trying to say, what can I do today? Yeah. And if anyone out there is recovering from stuff, I mean, advice, I mean, I probably sound like a hypocrite giving advice because I'm struggling right now, but, you know, in the past, taking it day by day really is the only thing that you can do. If you start trying to predict the future, you're only going to give yourself anxiety about the what ifs. Yeah. And I wish I could take my own advice sometimes, but thinking about like the what ifs and playing all those scenarios out in your head, it doesn't affect the outcome. The outcome already happened in the future, right? God's already got the outcome planned. Yeah. You sitting there thinking about it and trying to think, you know, for me, I could sit there and be totally freaked out that I'm going to have surgery every 4 years to get this thing replaced. But the reality is I don't know that. Maybe there's a new treatment that comes out. So why even sit there and think about it? Yeah. Same thing like when they told me that I couldn't do anything. Okay, I could have accepted that answer. Yeah. So most people, or maybe not most, a lot of people would have accepted. I know a lot of people that have CRPS that sit on their couches and they do absolutely nothing. And fun fact, that's the worst thing ever for CRPS is to do nothing. Moving and being regulated is like one of the best things for it.
I believe it.
Like, I mean, you're going to be in pain regardless when you're in recovery from anything. So you might as well be in pain doing something that's going to make yourself better. So, like, what I always try to tell people, I'm like, number one, you can't look ahead. You got to try to not plan ahead. My dad always tells me worrying is like paying a debt that you don't owe.
I love that.
Because if you don't owe somebody money, if you don't owe somebody $100, you don't, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you don't owe that person money if you don't owe them money. Yeah. But if you're sitting there worried about it, then you do.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
It's just robbing you of that moment if you're just stuck in the future.
And, too, like, another thing I always think about is, like, you know, if Connor and I want to have a family, I have to turn my stimulator off.
Why?
Unless I want to roll the dice to see if, because the problem is where the wires are at, it's on your spine, and they don't know if it stimulates the womb or not. They don't know if that stimulation affects a womb.
Of course they don't.
And unfortunately, which makes sense, not a lot of women are willing to say, yeah, I'll keep it on so you can test it. Yeah. You know? And so that...
Can you still get an epidural?
You know what? I don't know because they go through the epidural space to put the wires in. Yeah. So I don't know if you get an epidural, if it would interfere with those leads. I think there's other options for epidurals, though, like a spinal tap I've heard of.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what that is. If someone does, please leave some information below, but I have no idea.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. But that's something, too. Like, you know, Connor knows the realities of that. Like, when my stimulator shuts off and him and I get a hard reminder of what life was like before that, I remember one time it did shut off for a couple days. And I was crying myself to sleep. Like, it was just all these flashbacks were happening. And I've been getting flashbacks the last, like, month of all these treatments. That's why it's all so fresh in my mind. Like, because the surgery was coming, it's just, like, a whole thing, whatever. But I remember he texted me, and he's like, I just want to let you know, because he was never about, like, surrogacy or adopting or anything like that. He's like, I just want to let you know that we're going to figure it out, and if we have to use other options, we will. And, like, whew. A part of me is like, no. I could do anything one time, you know? But the other part of me is like, man, when that thing shuts off and I get that hard reminder.
Yeah. Not to mention the pain of giving birth. Like, that alone people can't do.
My leg might hurt enough to just distract the delivery, you know?
That's true.
I'm kidding.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
But, yeah, there's a lot. You know, the hardest thing about the healing process is the mental side, because your body is going to heal itself, whether it takes 5 days or 5 months or 5 years. Your body is going to heal itself. That's what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
But the mental side of it is just not talked about enough. The depression from not being able to do anything, the depression of thinking you're not going to be able to get back to where you were, the depression of seeing what you worked for go away. Or maybe that's not depression. I'm using the wrong word there. The sadness, you know.
Something I wanted to say is grief is a big emotion that comes with this.
Did I tell you this the other day, that when I talk about what happened to me, I don't even feel like it's me?
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
It's because I literally feel like when I talk about all that, when I'm like really thinking about it, I can like make the connection that it was me, and that's when I start getting like emotional. But to be completely honest, that wasn't me. That's not me. I don't even know who that is. I completely disassociated from it.
Yeah.
But if I did the right thing, which you should, people, if you're already listening to this, is you have to grieve your old self in a way, because I remember sitting there going, there is nothing in my life that is going to be better than cheerleading. Nothing is going to replace competitive cheerleading.
That's interesting.
Nothing. And so I thought, I'm just going to be unhappy for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be able to find it. What am I supposed to do? Underwater basket weave? Like, what am I to become, a chess player? I mean, God bless the people who do, but I can't. I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like letting go of the expectations for yourself for that timeline was like a big thing that you had and have to still probably do.
Yeah.
And you can't compare it to past surgeries because it's so different. Like, you're at a different place now, you know? Like, you can't be like, oh, well, last time I was fine after X days, you know?
Right.
And just, like, letting go of those timelines and not comparing to other people online, yourself.
Timeline's important, though, because, like, how I was able to get through the most difficult time was more so, like, it's not about the time, it's about the goal. You know, what is the goal? If you have a goal and you care about that goal enough, you don't care how long it takes.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know?
Yeah.
If I had a goal that I was going to become a bodybuilder if I could walk. So what was I going to do? I was going to freaking get up and walk every single flipping day until I was able to do that. And then that took me from 2018 to 2023 when I finally stepped on stage. If I would have gave up after a year, who knows?
But it's just crazy because, like, in the grand scheme of life, 5 years is not even that long.
Right.
You know? But, like, when you're in it, it's so difficult and it's such an emotional toll. Like, why am I putting in so much effort? And that's another thing that I feel like you feel like if you're putting in all this effort, then it should just automatically equal results.
Yes.
But that's not always true with healing.
That is not always true. I have, even with this surgery, I thought, all right, well, I remember, you know, I don't want to sit on the couch because I don't want to get too stiff. So why don't I try doing yoga? So I put on, like, you know, you told me to do, like, yin yoga stuff the one time, like, a couple weeks ago, like, to try it or whatever. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll try that. So I turn that on. I do a 10-minute thing. After, I'm like, what the heck am I doing? I'm in so much pain. I couldn't barely even do it. I probably looked like a fool. Like, thank God no one was watching me. I was just in my house. But, like, the thinking that if I start moving, that it's going to heal faster. And thinking if I you take extra creatine and thinking if I do this and if I do that and, whatever, I'm going to heal faster. Well, that's not really the case. Sometimes your body is just going to heal at its own pace. And I have learned to be better at listening to my body, where normally I used to just be like, forget it. And I used to like not understand what that meant. But like now to what that means to me is like listening to your body as you're healing. Because then if you do that, if you can listen to your body while you're healing, that's how you heal faster.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between bad pain and good pain. If you know those differences, then you know when you can push and when you can't. There's a difference between I'm swollen because I worked hard, or I'm swollen because I'm not healed enough. You'll know those differences.
Right.
There's a difference between, I'm taking medication to completely eliminate the pain because I could barely even move. And there's difference between, oh, my leg is pretty swollen, I'm going to take some ibuprofen to help it come down. And I've learned those differences, and those differences is what allows me to determine what I need to do. And that is what actually affects how long it might take or short it might take.
Right. Yeah, and those things can change day to day. Like what you need changes on a daily basis, and that's perfectly okay.
Yeah. Sunday I tried to do a leg day. Why did I do that? No idea, but I did. I was like, I'm just going to do 4 exercises, see if I can do it.
Yeah.
And I did those 4 exercises, and on Monday I was like, I don't think I'm going to be doing legs for another week. Normally I'd be like, cool, I'll hit another leg day on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Nope, I took off Tuesday.
So I feel like when you like push through and grind through when you shouldn't be, that just makes it even longer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who told me this, but somebody told me that if you, again, there's a difference between good pain and bad pain. If you're having bad pain and you decide to push through something, instead of taking that extra week, now you've just added on 3 more weeks of struggling.
Right.
So like what you think might be good for you because it's no pain, no gain and all that stuff. And trust me, I believe in that. If I didn't believe in that, I wouldn't be where I am now in terms of the, movement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a line there because
it's a balance.
It is, because you can't just say, I'm going to get out of surgery and just go straight to the gym, do what I want because no pain, no gain, because then your body's not healed. Then you're just creating more problems. So if you just took the 3 weeks off, or you just took the 2 weeks off, or you just took the 3 months off, or whatever it was, then when you get back, you can get back right away.
Yeah.
Versus the healing process being longer because you affected it in a negative way.
Right. And if you do have like those setbacks and you aren't where you were before, it's not to say that you're failing, it's just like more information.
I think that's like a really great way to look at it, because saying a setback, it puts a negative connotation around what happened. Like, you should be proud of yourself for what you just did, but maybe your body just wasn't quite ready for that yet. So let's just pull it back a little bit so you can give your body a little bit more time to heal and then push forward. And I actually saw something on Instagram the other day that it was like, I don't know, it was some like stupid like fact thing that came up or whatever. Or is it true? I don't know. I hope it is. But it says like thinking positively, like literally has thinking positively and like channeling like more positive words literally has a positive like an impact on your brain and like how you view life. And even just simply replacing those words, like a lot of people are like, oh, setback for a stronger comeback, but it's like, it's not a setback. I'm just working through a progression. And as we know, progress isn't linear. Some days I'm gonna wake up, everything's gonna be great. Some days I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be like, if I can make it work today, I'll be lucky.
And that's fine. Like both of those extremes plus everything in between is perfectly okay.
100%. Doing nothing is not okay.
But like sometimes you need rest.
Yeah.
You're like, no. We're still working on that.
Meanwhile I'm sitting on the couch like I can't sit on the couch anymore.
No, I even feel that too. Like, I had some time off work and I just felt I was just watching a movie and I felt so unproductive that awful. It like stressed me out. And I'm like, no, though. Like, I should be able to rest
to do this
and take time off, and it's okay. And I don't have to fill every minute of every day with something productive. Like,
100%.
It's just not sustainable. And then that's why people get burnt out.
Well, you and I are like similar in that way, because we always talk about if we're not doing anything, we feel lazy, but we're not lazy. It eats me alive.
Oh my God, yeah. And I struggle so hard to find the balance between like pushing myself to my fullest potential versus giving myself grace, like listening to my body, resting when I need to.
You know what? I was thinking about this the other day, because I was thinking about that, because when I was sitting on the couch, I had nothing else to do other than think about that, right? And I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? Is it about... Okay, I haven't fully got this thought all the way wrapped around, so I'm just going to say it like how I feel like it's in my head. We are both people. that want to absolutely maximize our fullest potential and absolutely do the most and do the best at whatever we do. But at the end of the day, what matters to you in life? And what matters to you in life is what you should work at very hard. Whether that's having a family, whether that's being the best wife you can be, whether that's being the best husband that you can be, whether that's being a really good employee, whether that's owning your own business, building your own business. Those are the things that should get the attention. So it's like, what matters to you at the end of the day? Does it really matter if you worked 40 hours this week, or 50 hours this week, or 60 hours this week? Does it really matter if you took 5 minutes less on your lunch break to get back to doing something? Does it really matter to sit there and drive yourself crazy at night because you're working from home versus being in the office? Like, no. What matters to me is what matters to me, and that is what's going to determine if I'm lazy or not. Because if I have a goal and I'm not actively doing something toward that goal, then I'm lazy.
Yeah.
Like, not every day, but like if I could sit there on the couch and I could say, this week my goal is to get a promotion at work. And this week I know I accomplished X, Y, and Z. So I'm working toward that goal. So I'm good to just sit here and take in this moment and relax. Yeah. That doesn't mean I didn't work hard. I worked hard as heck this week.
Yeah.
But I don't need to sit there and think about if I did or if I didn't.
Yeah.
Same thing with bodybuilding. My goal one day is to get a pro card. So even if I'm sitting on the couch and doing nothing and I'm giving my body rest, that's still going toward my goal, because if I was at the gym killing myself, hurting myself, I wouldn't be able to go back to the gym next week.
Yeah.
It would take longer for me to heal versus just taking the time to heal.
Yeah.
And then going to the gym every day. Maybe you're not going to have a 100% great workout every single day. Maybe one day I have a bad workout. Does that mean I'm not going towards my goal? Does that mean I'm not lazy? No, I showed up and I did the best I could that day.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm lazy.
Right.
And so the same thing goes for, being a wife. Like, for me, I want to make sure the house is clean. I want to make sure if I don't clean the house one night, does that make me lazy? No, I'm still working toward being a good wife because I treat my husband well and I do other things than just those singular things. So I don't know if any of that made sense, but like, I guess I'm like trying to get to the point where it's like, instead of thinking about filling your day with a whole bunch of productive things, fill it with the things that matter to you, because number one, you're going to be more fulfilled that way. And number two, then you can look back and go, no, I can sit here because I'm not lazy because I have done X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely think that tracks. I feel that too. Like, I'm always like stressed out if I didn't do that one load of laundry or like something like that. And it's like, okay, no, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
My goals in life are not to have empty laundry baskets all the time.
Exactly.
My goals are, whatever they may be. And like you were saying, did I do one small thing to get me closer to that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I should, feel okay to take a second or like drink my matcha slowly in the morning and not just like immediately go into work mode and like, what needs fixed or,
And our brains are like always doing that.
Yeah, and it's so bad, especially for women.
It is pretty crazy. And with that too, it's just like, I'm very bad at this, but sometimes like you're chasing toward such a long-term goal for so long that you forget to kind of turn around and smell the flowers kind of thing.
Yeah, we always talk about
this. So it's like, yesterday Connor and I we met with a builder for the first time. Mm-hmm. And when we left there, instead of like, getting myself all stressed out on the way home about, oh, can we afford this? Can we do this? Can we do that? Before I called anybody, before I called Connor, before I called my dad, before I called my mom, because I called all of them. I need everybody's advice. Connor and I talked about it on the phone. So before I did that, I said, holy crap, we just left a builder.
Yeah.
Our dream is to build a house one day.
Yeah.
We've been saying that for so long, and we just did that. Like, don't gloss over this moment.
Yeah.
So I just like sat in the car for like 15 minutes and just drove and just like thought about that.
That's awesome.
And so I'm like, I'm trying to do those things more.
Yeah, I love that. I remember talking to you about that like 3 or 4 years ago when I got my first apartment.
Yes.
And all I wanted for so long, all throughout college, was my own apartment that was just mine, and no one else lived there, and no one else could mess up the furniture or dirty the kitchen. And then I got that, and then I was just like, okay, so what's next?
Yeah, what's next?
Like, when am I gonna move in with Jeff? Like, when are we getting an apartment? It's like I didn't even get to celebrate or be excited that I was living alone and like affording that.
You did something you said you wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly. And like getting engaged, like I wanted to get engaged for so long, and then you let the stress of like wedding planning consume it, and it's like, no, this is like such a fun, exciting time.
Exactly.
That's such a short blip. Like,
you
need to celebrate it.
Yeah. I 100% agree. You have these goals, you achieve them, but you don't even celebrate that you did achieve them, and you just keep
Yeah.
going past it to the next one. And so, yeah, even like with this recovery, you know, like my goal is to be able to be walking on a treadmill by now. I am.
Yeah.
I'm walking on my treadmill at home, my walking pad. I can do 20 minutes. Like, awesome, great. My goal is to be able to be in the gym 2 days back to back this week. I did it. Monday was really tough. Like, I worked out Sunday. And then Monday I was kind of in a lot of pain, but I still went and I just did what I could. And like, even though I felt kind of crappy about myself, I was like, no, my goal was to go here twice back to back before I took a day off. And I'm going to do back to back again. See how it goes. So it's like, you just gotta, I'm bad at that. I'm sure a lot of you guys listening to this, you know, probably feel the same way, but take advice from people who don't do it so that you can do it.
Yeah. And I just really feel like everything happens for a reason, and the way things play out is all how it's supposed to happen. Like, I truly believe that. And I feel like instead of being like, oh, my healing timeline is delayed or behind, what if you just take a second to think, maybe this is perfectly aligned with what my body needs in the long term to be healed or feel safe.
I always reflect on that, because I can tell you right now, Connor and I would have not gotten back together if I didn't get hurt.
Really?
So for those of you guys, well, nobody knows, but Connor and I dated for 3 or 4 years. Then we broke up for a year. We didn't speak to each other. I had him blocked on my phone. Like, it was like a whole thing, okay? And if I did not bust my leg up, I wouldn't work in manufacturing, because I would probably be into law. And I probably would have not gotten back together with Connor, because I probably would have went to another school, or when I went to law school, I would have moved somewhere or something like that. But I couldn't go to law school because I couldn't take the LSAT exam because my freaking leg was broken all the time. When I tried to take it, I sucked at it because my toes were turning purple and bleeding as I was taking it. It is the worst thing in the world. Oh my gosh. But if I didn't hurt my leg, maybe I would have gotten into law school. Maybe that would have taken me somewhere else, because I could tell you what, I did not want to live in Ohio at the time. Yeah. Maybe I would have I probably would have. Probably would have went somewhere else. Probably would have taken a job somewhere. But hurt my leg. Literally 3 weeks later, Connor and I started talking again. Or no, sorry, we actually started talking like a week before I heard it. And then I heard it, and then he was like there for me and all that stuff. Yeah. But if I didn't hurt it, I probably wouldn't be in the position I am now. Yeah. Or married to him. Yeah. And so it's like, that's crazy. All that pain, it was worth it. Yeah. You know, because now I have him. Even right now, if I take that perspective, I just started like my Echo Strength, my coaching business. Normally I'm running 1 million miles a minute. But right now during surgery, I have time to onboard all my clients. So it's like, it's almost nice that like I have the extra time because I can finish setting up my website, get my LLC done. I'm onboarding 6 clients this week. Like, and I can do all those things because I'm not running 1 million miles a minute. Once the clients are in, then it's easier maintenance, right? But the initial setup takes a lot of time per client.
Yeah, that just makes me feel like even more so this is meant to be. Yeah. It's meant to how it was supposed to work out. Yeah. And I feel the same on a much smaller scale. Like, if I didn't have horrible cystic acne for years, I would never have found what I'm truly passionate about. Oh my God,
yeah, you would still be in like the fashion industry.
If COVID didn't happen, I would have moved to New York City. I would have never met Jeff. Like, it's just so crazy.
And in the moment, you're like, why is this happening?
Yeah, in the moment, I was so upset. Like, I was like distraught. Yeah. But then didn't move, stayed in Ohio, met Jeff, got really into nutrition, found my true passion, because I liked fashion, but I was never like so passionate about it. Like, what is that saying? Like,
eat, sleep, and breathe.
Eat, sleep, breathe fashion, like some of my other friends in that major. So yeah, it's just all.
When you look back on those times, whether they were challenging or good or whatever they might be, it really does become pretty clear on like why certain things happen the way that they do.
Yeah, and it makes me excited for like future me to look back on right now and be like,
that's why. Yeah, I think the same thing sometimes. I'm like, I wonder if I'll figure out why this is happening. That's what I say to myself. And then I'm like, maybe one day, and then like it'll happen, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, and then you just like it hits you one day, and you're like, oh shoot, wow. Yeah. I'm so glad that happened, even though it sucked.
Even though it sucked, man. Yeah, but thank God.
Yeah, so hopefully that was helpful for you guys.
Yeah, sorry guys, kind of like a little bit of a jumbled episode. I am not super great at talking about all that stuff and kind of staying on track into a theme. So kind of just a little bit of word vomit from me today, but
I think it was good.
Hopefully it was at least relatable. I've been getting a lot of questions about what happened to me, so hopefully this will kind of help clear up some of that as well. But thank you guys so much for listening. If anyone listening is in chronic pain or dealing with something challenging, feel free to drop us a message. We'd love to support you, support your content, and just give you some encouraging words, whatever it may be. Just know that you're not alone, and just take it day by day. So thank you guys so much. Please sure to like, comment, subscribe, leave us a review. It really helps support our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.